you guys have asked about veterans. It comes up a lot. I asked kind of our foremost expert who's been with us he's going on finished up his second AEP. He's done an incredible job. One of the top MGAs out of the Mobile, Alabama area, Mississippi area. He's a veteran of, I think he served 26 years as a veteran. So thank you for your service, Joe. But really knows TriCare in the veterans market better than anyone I know in this business. Joe, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to add to that SCP that Bill was talking about. And don't forget the SCP OCC, which is other credible coverage, which is tailor-made for people that are on VA benefits or TriCare. Just a couple of real quick topics I want to talk about. It won't take more than a couple of minutes. First of all, folks, we're going into the OEP time frame. I'd encourage each of you to evaluate your market, come up with a strategic plan with different initiatives. My folks did that, and I've got several of them that just really took it to heart. And they're just, while everybody's ramping down, they're ramping up in sales. If you need any help with that, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help you with it. Folks, if you'll turn to your Medicare and You guide or handbook for 2022, on page 90, it talks about working with how TriCare and Medicare Advantage plans work together. Folks, this accounts for about 1%, maybe 2% of our business, and it's primarily because people are afraid. I know there was a call not too long ago that someone said that you should not be using or putting people that are on TriCare, onto an MAPD. Folks, that's incorrect. I mean, it doesn't matter what TriCare says; it's what Medicare says. If you stop and think about this for just a minute, if you're on TriCare or if you're on Champ VA, you are required to have a Medicare A and B, original Medicare. You have to enroll in Medicare Part A and Part B. If you don't, you won't qualify for your TriCare. And when you do, TriCare becomes the primary, and Medicare becomes the primary. TriCare, basically will fill in the holes. So now what you're doing with a Medicare Advantage plan, you're using your Medicare Part C instead of your Medicare Part B. Instead of Medicare paying, the carrier is going to manage the health care of that individual. So it still remains within that same silo. If all they had was original Medicare and they went to the doctor has to dual bill. He has to pay, or she has to pay or send a bill to get paid by Medicare and then TriCare. So it doesn't matter. They're still doing the same thing with this Medicare Advantage coverage. They instead of it going directly to Medicare, it's going to Cigna. And then Cigna pays their portion, and then TriCare will pay what they're supposed to pay. If the doctor does not dual bill, you have a recourse that is available to you through the military. It's a reimbursement form. That's a DD form 2642. It's an incredibly simple form to fill out. It's just got 3 sections: who you are, where you went, and what you spent. And you put the documentation with the send it in, and they will get their reimbursement up to what their TriCare co-payment would be if they have one. Folks, it's a great opportunity. You're providing veterans, especially retired veterans that do have limitations to their benefits, the same opportunities that you do with people that or don't have those benefits. Just remember, very, very, very important to remember that if they've got Champ VA or TriCare, you only want to put them on an MA only. If they've got VA benefits, you can use either one, an MAPD or an MA only. It's what's going to work best for that individual customer. Folks, there's a lot of nuances. You're going to have people out there that are going to come back and say, well, no, they lost their TriCare because they did this, or they lost their Medicare because they did this. I would encourage everybody, if you're going to get into the TriCare market, the Champ VA market, or even the VA market, just make copies of page 90 of the 2022 Medicare and You handbook. Keep it with you. give them to the person to say, look, if you can't find yours, here's this. And it lists it right there, how it works. So folks, it's a great opportunity. If you have any questions, any concerns, you can feel free to reach out to me. My number is 228-860-8177. If you don't know what it is, ask Michael or Tony. They'll give it to you. And feel free to reach out to me anytime. Happy hunting.
Happy hunting. I like that. Happy hunting. You got to trademark that. Happy hunting. I like it. Thank you. Any questions for Joe? Great job, Joe. Yeah, Joe, I'm so glad we had you explain that, because you're right. I was taught back in the day when I was an agent, stay away from TriCare, and you've really showed us all that was misinformation back then. I guess because everyone was trying to figure out how this thing Medicare worked, and we were incorrectly told stay away from TriCare. So thank you, Joe, for sharing that.
I have a question, Joe.
Yes.
What you're saying is that if a person has TriCare or the VA, the CHAMP VA, that they can have Medicare A and B and C at the same time. Is that right?
Absolutely. Just like the rest of your customers that you're selling.
No, but I mean, while they're on C, they can't use A and B.
Well, neither can your other customers. Your other customers are using their Medicare Part C. You have to have Medicare Part A and B to qualify for Medicare Part C. Once you enroll in a Medicare Part C program, it doesn't matter if you're using the VA, not using the VA, or you're from the moon and you're here as a documented alien. If you qualify for A and B and you enroll in C, you're always going to be deferred to your C. So it doesn't matter if it's with the VA, TriCare, CHAMP VA, or if it's just a person off the street. The Medicare Part C is used in lieu of your Medicare Part A and Part B. But you never lose your A and B. If you opted out of your B because you had C, you'd lose your C.
Yeah, I understand that.
So it's the same exact thing. It's just they got additional benefits through TriCare.
So if they're on Part C on a Cigna plan and they want to go to a doctor that's not in Cigna's network, they still can?
Only if they get prior authorization through TriCare. Yes, they can. We talked about that about 4 weeks ago, because came across a situation that a person that was on a Cigna plan wanted to go to a doctor that was out of network. They got prior authorization from TriCare. So what ended up happening, the doctor dual billed, Cigna paid $0, and then the person had to pay pretty much the amount of the procedure, the visit, and then they submitted a DD-4 2642, and they were reimbursed 100% up to their TriCare copayment, TriCare copayment, which in this case was nothing. So they got reimbursed 100%. But they may have to pay it up front, but they will be reimbursed. If they coordinate the billing with Cigna, which is going to deny the bill, and TriCare will find out what is owed, and they will pay the balance.
All right.
It's just an extra step. It is just an extra step for them to go through, but they're going to get benefits that they're not going to get through the VA. If they're lucky, they may have space available dental, but that's a rarity because dentists don't want to work in the VA or federal system. They make more money in the real world. Mm-hmm. So then now they've got dental coverage. They get a payback on their Part B premiums in a lot of cases, not every, but in a lot. They get the over-the-counter benefit, gym membership, lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, that they're not going to get with their TriCare. So it's a huge benefit for seniors.
Hey, Joe, this is Eddie. Joe.
Yes, sir.
This is Eddie. I have a question, and I also want to make a comment. So I'll make the comment first, and then I'll ask the question. The comment I wanted to make is when somebody is hospitalized, okay, you don't leave the hospital and they slap you with a bill. The bill's coming within 30 days or so. but you have a summary of benefits that shows you what that bill is going to be. So if you take out your form, you fill it out, you send your discharge papers to show a copy of them, rather, how long you've been in the hospital and what the summary of benefits says you're going to owe. By the time that gets processed, TriCare sends you the check, you're getting the bill, and you pay that hospital bill. Now, my question was that DD2, DD 2642, does that also apply for prescription drugs, not just medical costs?
Do not use your prescription drug coverage with somebody that's on CHAMP VA or TriCare. The VA is going to coordinate things. You can use your excuse me. Do not put somebody on CHAMP VA or TriCare on a drug plan.
Well, I've had
I wish
veterans that came to me, but I have veterans that came to me on TriCare that were already on an MAPD. I didn't put them on there, and we spoke, and then I changed them to different plans because they wanted to get a give back, and they weren't getting a give back. And so I had questioned, and I was just reading this over here on page 90, and it was talking about drugs and saying that you can get your money back also on your prescriptions, that you can have an MAPD as well, and it would coordinate. It's what it says on page 90. Now, I've never intentionally put one on there, but they've come with it already, and they've had it for a year or two.
Yes, and I don't know if DD4 2642 can be used for drugs, but think about this. I take so many drugs. I used to be able to sneak up on people. I take so many drugs now, I rattle when I walk. So, and I use TriCare, and all my drugs cost me $0 unless I go outside the VA system or the TriCare system. If I go to Walgreens to pick up, I have to pay a copay. They haven't reimbursed me because it was my choice to go outside that system. We want to make it as easy as we possibly can. And I'll double check to see if the DD4 2642 will work for prescription drugs. And if somebody else out there knows, please enlighten us. But I will find out definitively. But I would not put anybody that is on TriCare or CHAMP VA on an MAPD or standalone prescription drug plan. Just wouldn't do it. It jacks up their mail order.
Yeah, no, I wasn't thinking about PDP, but Mike, because I questioned it too when they came to me. I said, but wait a minute, you're on TriCare. Why are you on Carefree? With Humana, okay? Because I didn't put them on there, but they already had that, and they said they had no problems with it. So that was why I was questioning.
Well, I understand, but it's the rule of thumb. You do not put them in an MAPD because it will jack up their prescription drug plan. Now with the VA, you can, because they got resources there locally that can go ahead and certify the prescription. Right. So, but with TriCare and CHAMP VA, I would never put them on an MAPD.
All right. Thanks a lot, bud.
It's your business. Seriously, it's your business. So whatever you feel comfortable doing, do. But understand the ramifications that it could cause major problems for their prescription drug coverage.